Okay, Elastic. Seriously, this might be the most requested song ever in the history of the Meshuggah Mondays. I'm almost at 100 here. I've gotten this one so many times. And I've actually done it twice before. So I've played the solo, checked out the solo, and I've also done the outro, which has that like tempo change. So if you're into that, just dig back through the Meshuggah Mondays. They're probably in like the 30s or 40s. I don't even know. But this time, I wanted to take a look at the riff in the solo section. So what's interesting about this, and speaks a lot about the evolution of Meshuggah, is that there is something that changes with the way that Meshuggah uses snare patterns through their career. So obviously 99% of the music's in 4/4, okay? We know that. So how does the snare work within that? Well, in the early Meshuggah, the snare is not playing the backbeat most of the time. I would say less than 50% of the time, the snare is on the actual backbeat. So this is a great example of taking an idea that's symmetrical. We're adding up to 64 16th notes, but the snare pattern is accenting a literal odd time signature within that 4/4 groove. So it's definitely an odd metered ostinato, but that snare drum, it's not adding the counterpoint, it's reinforcing the odd time signature. So that's what we see in the early Meshuggah. And then by the time that nothing comes around, we start to see a little bit of both, right? By the time nothing is happening, we see the snare drum on beat 3, but then on songs like Glints Collide, we see different accents of the snare drum that are not necessarily on the backbeat, accents that are following the ostinato. So check out this ostinato, right? So good. We have a system that consists of 3 19/16th note ostinatos, okay? So what are those? That's 19, right? So it happens 3 times, and then there's a variation on the 4th cycle, but it's not the 4th cycle, it's just like that like exit point, you know, that Meshuggah is famous for. So you have 3, 2, 3. And then exit point is just, that's it, and then it repeats, so it's a symmetrical phrase. Now the snare drum is accenting that 19 beat idea, so it's like, whoa, it's really kind of hard to hear this in 4/4, but eventually you get used to it because the big phrase is what you're listening to. It's just the small pieces of the big phrase that are super messed up, right? So harmonically, we literally just have like the best nightmare notes ever. You just have root, goes up to the flat 9, and on the flat 9, there's the tritone above it. So, oh, great. The perfect notes to solo on. So this time, I'm going to do my own solo. I've already done Fred's solo on this. Let's see how well it informs what I do. And you better subscribe, you blind little kid. All right? Good. See you next week. Good.